Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we'll be taking a look at the track Heroes Are Calling by the Swedish rock band Smash Into Pieces. This song will feature on the band's upcoming 8th studio album titled Ghost Code, which is due to land on April 12th, and it will also be featuring in the final of the 2024 edition of Melodifestivalen, which is actually the Swedish competition to decide who they will be sending to Eurovision 2024. One of the other songs that did feature on this album in the form of 6 Feet Under was their 2023 entry. Did come third, they were held off the top spot by a couple of other artists, but they're hoping that this year they can go one step further and make it to Eurovision. The band have also been releasing a string of other tracks from this album. They continue to build their story in, about APOC being the central character in a lot of their music videos, and we've really seen this really almost Matrix-esque kind of stylings, this variation between the real world and Arcadia as they've danced between these two parallel worlds with many of the music videos they have been releasing as it draws closer and closer to a conclusion or closing of the next chapter, which I'd imagine will either end with this track or upon the completion of the album. So will this latest track make a heroic entry or be a dastardly villain? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds.
We started from below, through the ashes, down from the dirt, running from the cold, drawn to fire, love when it burns. When it all comes down to destiny, only you can bend the rules, walk that road. Ashes down from the dirt, they're calling out, calling out, calling out. When the skies are falling, hear the heroes calling. Can't hold us down, can't hold us down. Save the ones still crawling, hit me hard I'm falling. Can't hold us down, can't hold us down. Can you hear them calling out, calling out?
Okay, I really love how we're getting this very glitchy styling really coming through on the actual electronics, really hitting in as well with APOC, really providing these thunderous drums to rebuild the energy as we do move into the chorus. And again, you can really see these almost Matrix-esque kind of stylings that they featured as we do see the blending of these worlds between Arcadia and the real world with these sandy dunes. And this is a song that certainly seems to revolve around the idea of kind of fighting up and relying on your superheroes and these people that are willing to call out and willing to help you in your time of need. We started from below through the ashes down from the dirt. So this idea of rising up like a phoenix and not being held down, not being suppressed, the idea of running from the cold, drawn to the fire, something that you can often find comfort in, that you love when it burns. When it all comes down to destiny, only you can bend the rules. So it's up to you to kind of change your destiny, to kind of change the way things are. And they've seen this then revolve around this idea over previous tracks, like so Let Me Be Your Superhero, the idea of this kind of having that hero within yourself, and a variety of other tracks that have often shown this idea, the idea of walking that road, the road of life, that it's kind of full of adversity, but you can just constantly call out to be the hero that you need, or to kind of get help from somebody else that could be calling out. It could be someone else in your life that's willing to offer you that helping hand, that can be your hero to drag you out of the dirt when you're struggling in your time of need. So you can really see a lot of these references really coming through. When the skies are falling, hear the heroes calling. So when you feel like the weight is bearing down on you, there can be sometimes be someone calling out to come and help you or to rescue you, things like that. That if not being held down, not being suppressed. And we've seen that with some of the other tracks the bands have been releasing from those previous albums, really talking about this very fight back attitude. And I love the way the music really pulls that in, this constant us, that constant we, the idea of this togetherness that's really being incorporated into the music. Can you hear them calling out, calling out, calling out? So that idea of just inclusiveness really drilled into this particular track.
We're burning through the night, from the darkness out in the light. I can see us rise up, going all the way to the top. They're calling out, calling out, calling out. When the skies are falling, hear the heroes calling. Can't hold us down, can't hold us down. Save the ones still crawling, hit me hard I'm falling. Can't hold us down, can't hold us down. Can you hear them calling out, calling skies are falling, hear the heroes calling. Can't hold us down. Save the ones still crawling. Hit me hard, I'm all in. Can't hold us down. Can't hold us down, no. Can you hear them calling out, calling out, calling out? Can you hear them calling out, calling out? Heroes are calling.
Yeah, so we really continue to see the story develop, really seeing APOC being that hero in that time of need as he returns to Arcadia and begins to take down the nemesis, the robotic kind of ideas that we do have coming through, almost like, say, very Matrix-esque with a lot of the stylings we do see coming from a lot of the music videos. But I really love the glitchy sounds, and I loved as well as we headed past the bridge into that final chorus, that backing vocal and almost the just stomping drum that really came through to really give almost this war chant idea of everyone unifying together. And again, with that backing vocal, it really adds a lot of power into that final chorus. And I love the way the band build around that, building in these electronic elements that really fit with the stylings that we do see in the messages in their music, whilst also retaining that very steady rock sound that's really controlled very well through APOC, really just making great use of those drums to really just provide different forms of energy for different parts of the track, and really just a clear-cut message as well. The idea of heroes calling out, there's always a hero that can be there in your time of need, whether you need a hero, you can sometimes be your own hero, and sometimes you can help others. So you can really see the different positions that people can be in, and sometimes you just need somebody to just kind of help you when you are struggling. And we can see that apply on a global scale as well with this track, really this idea of helping those that are struggling in their time of need. You could effectively be their hero. If you've got a friend that's suffering or going through a rough patch, you can kind of help them. So it can apply to that bigger scale as well. If you're able to help more and more people, you effectively become the hero in that situation. You can help others rise up and help to unify people just through being that superhero ultimately. So I really do love the way they're really pulling that into this track by some very clever, useful, inclusive lyrics, such as the constant use of us, we. Really, there's no very little use of I, unless it's that hit me hard, I'm all in. So just really kind of almost like you're rallying people together to really just get behind you and unify together to tackle any difficulties. So certainly a very strong track. It'll be very interesting to see how it does fare in the final of Melody Festival next Saturday. But I would love to see them take to the stage in Eurovision. They are a band that have really been putting out some strong music over the past number of years, really building in so much story. And if you aren't only just hearing for the band for the first time, then I would recommend checking out a lot of their recent music videos. There is a beautiful story hidden underneath that you can really see develop, and it just really does kind of take you on this journey with the band and really just shows a bit more kind of almost widespread world building that the band have included into so much of their music. So there we have it, the latest call out from the band, but I would love to know your thoughts about this track in the comments section. But if you have heard the band before, how do you feel it lives up to some of the other tracks that are going to be featuring on Ghost Code? If you haven't heard them before, let me know what your thoughts are as well in the comments section below. Also, if you would like to see a lot more Smash Into Pieces content, I have covered many of the band's other tracks from recent albums in separate videos, so you can find links to those in the description of this one. And if you'd like to see more content like this overall, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next audio analysis.